Hi everyone, I'm Gotax, and today we're talking about something particular because the movie we're talking about today is inspired by a book which is called Dune by Frank Herbert, and there were some tentatives during the time to transpose this book. It's a sci-fi story, so during the 70s it was pretty difficult to transpose it, and Star Wars arrived, but an author called Jodorowsky tried to transpose and bring to life his own version of Dune. In fact, there is a documentary called Jodorowsky's Dune that exited around 2010, and it talks about the creation, the tentative to bring this story to life. However, it didn't happen because Hollywood studios wouldn't weren't safe to invest some money into this project because they didn't consider it a public appealing. But there was this director called David Lynch that in 1983 pitched his script. The studios approved it because it came from Eraserhead and The Elephant Man that were pretty appreciated movies. So David Lynch started. He started directing, but there were some problems during the production, and by the critics and the public, the movie became catastrophic. It's my opinion too. I don't think so, personally, because I have to consider that first of all, I watched the Villeneuve movies, the recent transposition in of 2021 and 2024. So I have this concept. And I read the book too of Dune, but personally I liked more the Lynch version instead of Villeneuve's one. And there are some reasons. First of all, the aesthetics. Obviously, reading a book, I don't see the aesthetic of what is in scene. And Villeneuve is a dramatic director. It tries what I call the decadence movement. So it's like a Nolanian style, so dark, with no light. As fact, Arrakis, that should be a hot planet, it's so because of the sand, because of some yellow on it, but it's not bright. It's monotonous. Instead, in Lynch's version, it emerges the light, the color. You are like living into this hot and unhospitality planet. It's like we have to consider too that the movies have some years in difference, and for that time the visuals are average. Personally, there are some good sets, there are some good shots, visually talking, but obviously Villeneuve's version is the best possible Dune version that anyone could expect. Because literally, we have some innovation, and because of that, Villeneuve wins. But not on the narrative side. Villeneuve had two movies for an average time of more than 5 hours and a half to tell a story that Lynch is told in 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's for me a too low time, but as I found, Lynch was constrained and was mandatory to cut some scenes, and the movie originally was around 3 hours. So adding that time, probably it will be the best duration of the movie. And it's pretty interesting that the velocity, the rhythm velocity, is pretty fast, but not so overwhelming. Because there are some moments during this film that in which the cutter sits and talk, but it's not a talking rushed. It's a talking elegant, symmetric, that works really well for me. And that in Dune of Villeneuve there are anonymous silences. Uh, in fact, it's a blockbuster old manner. It remembered me a little of Lord of the Rings, especially in the use of the narrative voice. In fact, in Lord of the Rings, the first movie opens with this prologue that is acted by by Kate Blanchett, which interpreted Galadriel. In this case, we have the daughter of the emperor, the empire that gives the to the user to the one is watching some context, more like Star Wars manner, but with voice, and it was really appreciated from my perspective because this kind of thing and the first scene there were not in the version, and it gave me more context and more explanation of what was happening down there. Maybe it's too evident what is happening, but Lynch's takes the complexity of of the Herbert, the Dune author writing, and this fact, the in fact, even though he had to sacrifice some parts of the book because of the length, another part integrates it with his own perspective and euphorial critic spirit, and then cut, modify, in order to deliver the best story possible. And I think it's the best version of Dune overall, above all, because it's direct on the point. It has a better storytelling because yeah, I'm still traumatized in having the mother of Paul, the protagonist in the Villeneuve's version, that has a talking child, but not in real life like in the original book, but in her belly. Yeah, absolutely. I'm still traumatized from Blonde with Arnold de Armas, but talking belly, wow, wonderful. To go on, sometimes it doesn't work really well. Some characters are there because they must have are there. They have to do actions because they have to do. So the best character of the movie probably are the Harkonnen, known for the character development, but for the iconography, for their characteristic in and Lynch's ability to put them in scene. If we compare them with the Villeneuve's version, probably we would like to say they are completely different characters. I don't understand what he would do with them. They are like losers. They don't have the power. They can't act. Instead, here they are or are real threats to Paul. Actually, so they work better. I didn't. I would not to say that, but they work better, and there's nothing wrong in saying that. So I like so much the finale, which is pretty similar with the Windows version, to be fair, but here is more evocative and is more functional to the direction that Lynch put in the whole duration of the movie. So we have a delightful and heartwarming interaction with authors that uh, put their own heart, their own interpretation real into this new version and interpretation. So there is this sensation, this general sensation that it's like hug. You feel hugging, but you feel at the same time some out of your place because the movie itself is out of its place. It's nothing that it is done before because it's not like Ben Hur, it's not like Lawrence Arabia. It's something more peculiar. It's doing like was done by Bava with his movie Terror in Space. His direction was really experimental, and many didn't like that movie because of that, because it was ahead of their time. And I think Dune of Lynch was perceived exactly like that. So it's not easy to follow because the mythology of Dune is vast, but personally, it was explained better here than in the Nelson version. Baby Venus version is more attached with the movie. It's a more blockbustering version, but it's not as deep as this Lynch version that put on the plate some reflections about life, about being at the world, things that are at the same time in the Venus version, but are not explored. They are just there are some it's take that and don't ask me for another 2 hours. So personally, I liked more this version. It has some problems. It has many problems, to be fair. Other than the character developments and some of the script, it has the problems in the rhythm, as said before. It sometimes goes too fast and can't make the elaboration of what is happening. And some actors are over the top, are over the lines, and the limit that should be um, the typical of some representation of a work of a project in cinematic experience. So I think I have said all about Dune of David Lynch. So thanks for watching and listening to me. So if you are arrived here, and I would like to invite you to do some things. First of all, subscribe to the channel. Then put a like on the video if you like it. Then comment down below if you have something to say about the movie, if you like it or you hate it. I know many hate this movie, so make so tell me your considerations about it. Then I would like to ring the bell, and then we see you soon with a new movie, which should be, I think, the Third Man. Yes, the Third Man. In the meantime, thanks for watching. A big hug, and let's see you soon. Bye bye.